This may be one of the most important parts of your productivity plan. I have a quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Don't know if I said his name correctly, but I love the quote. It says, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." I think that describes so clearly why we often fail to reach our goals. Sunday strategy is how I make a plan to execute my goals. It's a simple process that I do on Sunday that only takes about 15 minutes. But when you do a Sunday strategy every week, you'll start with a clear plan. You'll be better prepared for meetings, deadlines, projects, tasks that are coming up. And it lets you check in on your goals and make sure that you are hitting all of your milestones. It's a great tool. Like I said, it only takes about 15 minutes and it only has 3 simple steps. Hi, I'm Chris LeBrun, your host of the Holistic Productivity Podcast. As someone who's never been afraid of dreaming big and going for it all, I often find myself with a lot on my plate. I'm a husband and father, a nonprofit fundraiser, and an entrepreneur. What I've realized is my view of productivity was pretty toxic. After decades of believing that in order to do more, you had to work harder, I began to see productivity as this beautiful thing. Holistic productivity is the idea that you can accomplish your professional, personal, and purpose-driven goals in a healthy way, and doing so will make you happier and more fulfilled. Join me each week as we break down myths about productivity, share practical tips for maximizing your time, energy, and focus, and hear from others about their productivity journey. This is the Holistic Productivity Podcast. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Holistic Productivity Podcast. My name is Chris LeBrun. I'm a productivity coach and your host of the podcast. So glad that you are here. Thank you for joining us. We're just thrilled that you're spending some time investing it back into yourself so that you can reach your goals. Look, if you are enjoying the show, hopefully you've caught our previous episodes. If not, you can always go back and do that. But if you're enjoying what you're hearing so far, I'm just asking for your help today in letting others know about the podcast. And there's 2 great ways that you can do that. You can go to your favorite podcast platform where you're listening to the show right now and rate us. Give us a 5 stars if you're so inclined. We'd appreciate that. But do that. That lets other people know about the show and they can listen and hopefully achieve their goals as well. But also, if you have a friend that you think would like the podcast, I'd love for you to share that with them just to let them know that you're listening, that you're enjoying, and they might be able to benefit as well. All right, let's dive into this episode. We are continuing our 6-part series on some of the fundamentals of holistic productivity. Now, these are the things that are part of the holistic productivity framework. And so far, we've already talked about goals, projects, and tasks and how we define those, how they're different from each other, how they work together. That was episode 4. Episode 5, we looked at creating a goal roadmap so that you know exactly what to do, when to do, breaking down that goal into small, manageable pieces so that you can achieve it with ease. Now, today what we're going to look at is how to plan your most productive week ever. And I don't say that lightly. This may be one of the most important parts of your productivity plan. And so I am glad that you are here today. I have a quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Don't know if I said his name correctly, but I love the quote. It says, "A goal without a plan is just a wish." I think that describes so clearly why we often fail to reach our goals. We've covered goal setting and planning in the last episode. But in this episode, we're going to look at what it means to constantly go back to our goal with a plan. You know, plans change. We can't always use the plan that we set 2 weeks ago or a month ago. We have to look at that and manage it every single day, every single week, every single month. So this is what we're talking about today. Sunday strategy is how I make a plan to execute my goals. It's a simple process that I do on Sunday that only takes about 15 minutes. But when you do a Sunday strategy every week, you'll start with a clear plan. You'll be better prepared for meetings, deadlines, projects, tasks that are coming up. And it lets you check in on your goals and make sure that you are hitting all of your milestones. It's a great tool. Like I said, it only takes about 15 minutes and it only has 3 simple steps. First is assess, then you assign, and finally you review. So let's look at each one of those individually. First step is to assess. Here's where you're going to look at everything that you have coming up. You might be looking at your calendar. You're going to look at your goal roadmap. Maybe there are tasks left over from last week. No judgment, but what you're looking for is any deadlines or deliverables, meetings, basically anything that will take your time in the upcoming week. In episode 2, we looked at the 3 pillars of productivity. I'll have a link for that episode in the show notes, but those are professional, personal, and purpose-driven. Those are the 3 areas of life that make us complete if we are achieving our goals in each of those areas. I bring those up because when I do my Sunday strategy, I like dividing up my goals and my projects, my tasks by pillars. I want to see what do I have coming up this week in my professional life? What do I have coming up in my personal life? And what are those purpose-driven projects that I'm working on this week that I have tasks for? And that's a structure that I use in my holistic productivity planner. It keeps everything organized and separate. It's just easier for my brain to function, to look at each one of those areas without being distracted by something else that I need to do, without getting off track, and just having it all organized. So when I am assessing, which is the first step of the Sunday strategy, when I am assessing each week, I look at it by pillar and I see what I'm doing in each one of those areas of my life. So the next step is assign. And as we are assessing what's coming up this week, start assigning it to specific days of the week. Now, obviously, you're going to have some deadlines that are time sensitive. You're probably going to want to get those scheduled first. Assign each project or task to a specific day so you know what day you're going to be working on it. What I love about this is now when you wake up in the morning on Monday, you know exactly what you're going to do for the day. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. Everything's already been assigned in a strategic fashion. Now, this is a great scenario for you to use time boxing. You've probably heard about this before. This just takes your assigning stage to a whole nother level. Time boxing is where you figure out how much time you need for each task that you'll be working on and create a specific block of time on your calendar to schedule that task. It may be 8 a.m. on Monday morning or 3 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. Now, when used correctly, time blocking is a great tool to plan your day, to stay focused, to stay on track, and to accomplish what you need to do. So again, once everything is assigned for a day or even for a specific time on the day, now your assigning phase is done and we can move on with our week. That's it. That's all you have to do on Sunday. The final step is review, and this happens throughout the week. You are going to look at your Sunday strategy plan every single day and review it for what's coming up next. I like to look at it each night for the following day. You're reminding yourself of what's coming up, so you're not going to be surprised by anything. We've all had that experience, right? Where you get halfway through Monday and you're like, oh, I was supposed to do this today. Of course, you know, that's not going to happen because you've planned your week out, but now you are just coming in and reviewing it for the day. This also gives you an opportunity to revise anything if necessary. Maybe, again, there's a task that didn't get done the day before and you want to knock that off first. But by reviewing every single day, you are prepared for the upcoming day. Now, this review doesn't take long at all, maybe 3 minutes, 5 if you're moving things around last minute, but it just helps you stay on track, stay accountable for what you are doing. That's a huge part of this as well. Staying accountable for the things that you need to do each day and reminding yourself of those. Now, I have a Sunday strategy worksheet that is available when you sign up for my weekly newsletter. I haven't talked about that very much, but hopefully you can sign up for that. Link is in the show notes. But on this worksheet, it gives you areas for each one of your pillars: professional, personal, and purpose-driven. You can quickly assign projects or tasks to each day. It's a nice way to see if Thursday, for example, is going to be overloaded or not. And obviously, you can move things around so that it's not. You can use the sheet each day when you are reviewing your Sunday strategy for the upcoming day. And there's also a bonus habit tracker included with that. Now, this is straight from my Holistic Productivity Planner, but you can get a free copy of the Sunday Strategy Worksheet and guide. Explains how to use it all when you sign up for my newsletter. Again, link is in the show notes, but you can get that by going to mysundaystrategy.com. Now, again, I think Sunday Strategy is the perfect tool for staying focused, for staying on track. It's that plan that you can use each week and every single day to stay focused on your goals. Again, you can do it on anything, your notebook or a piece of paper or a Word document, but I love the worksheet. It is a great tool to keep you organized and accountable. Well, that's it for this episode. It was a short one, but I think a powerful episode if you use the Sunday strategy each week to assess, assign, and review the tasks that you have coming up. You need a plan to bring your goals to reality. And Sunday strategy is a great way to develop that plan for the week. It only takes 15 minutes. And again, like I said, there's just 3 simple steps: assess, look at everything that you have coming up for the week, assign, put your tasks on specific days so you know when you're going to do them. Make sure you're paying attention to deadlines so that you're hitting those, and don't overload some days over another. So make it all balanced and nice. And then the third step is review. Look at your Sunday strategy every day to see if you're on course. Revise if necessary, but use that as your planning tool each and every day. Again, thank you so much for being here. We are in the middle, halfway through our series on some of the fundamentals of holistic productivity. I hope you come back next week. We will continue talking about some of these fundamentals. We're going to look at some time management strategies for everyday tasks. I want you to be there for that. You can hear that episode next Tuesday. We have episodes every single Tuesday. The best way to get those, if you are not already following the show or subscribed, please do that on your favorite podcast platform. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. We are on iHeart, on Amazon. And you can also watch the show if you want on YouTube. Again, just make sure that you're subscribed so that you get those. While you're there, if you could do me a favor, again, rate the show. 5 stars is what I'm looking for. If it's below that, maybe hit me up offline and tell me, how we can improve the show. Always open to those suggestions as well. But when you rate the show, that just lets other people find it and benefit. We appreciate that. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, YouTube, and LinkedIn. All of those social medias are at Holistic Productivity. And of course, show notes for today's episode are on the website, holisticproductivity.com/6. That is for episode 6. A lot of great resources. I'll put links to all the other episodes that I talked about. And of course, you can get the Sunday Strategy worksheet and guide there, or you can go to mysundaystrategy.com. Again, thank you so much for being here. Loved having you in for the show. My hope, as always, is that this show will help you dream big, plan smart, and live fully. Thanks so much. See you next time.